Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Max and Fred. What we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Max's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and let go on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Max is going to come home with his very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that. Now Max is sitting nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling, Mary Ellen, is what we were just talking about, proper walking on a leash. His job at this point is to stay even with Fred's left leg, look up at his trainer, pay attention, not be focused on the birds singing and the squirrels running by, and keeping his shoulders even with your left leg so you're not being dragged down the street. Each time that Fred stops his feet, he's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. So if you're stopping to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, your dog should be well under control, sitting nicely at your left. The next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. Fred uses the one-word command to stay, open flat of his palm about an inch or so from the dog's muzzle. The long sit stay when you're practicing at home is for 1 minute, working up to 3 minutes. And this should be practiced indoors as well as outdoors. When Fred returns back to his dog, he will walk all the way back around him, returning all the way back to heel position, and each time you return to your dog's shoulders, he expects to get another command. Fred gave him a little pat for praise. We don't go over the top with the praise. We don't want to overexcite them. Fred talks to him quietly to keep him focused. Gives him another stay command. And this time, and this is a very important exercise, this is the recall or the come on command. Fred uses his name, has him come right in front and sit facing his knees. No jumping all over you. And then when Fred wants him to, he asks him to return to heel. He walks all the way around back to Fred's left and back sitting. And then Fred has to tell him what he's going to do. So we gave him another stay command, walked out to the end of his training leash, calls him in. He comes in, you can see tail wagging, he's happy, he's not intimidated by this training. He's a working dog and he enjoys working with Fred. Very nicely done. Now we're going to set up for our down commands, and these are also very important commands for developing attention span and focus and maturity. These young teenage dogs lack that, and your stationary exercise helped to build that. This is down from a heel position. Fred's going to use the flat of his palm straight down toward the ground, the one-word command to down. He tells him to stay with a hand command only. Your long down stay when you're practicing at home is for 3 to 5 minutes when you're starting out. When Fred returns back to his dog, he will walk all the way around him as he did on the sit stay, returning all the way back around to heel position, and again, he expects to get another command, and Fred heels him out of that to set up again for the down from a heel position. And remember, the hardest part about obedience training is remembering to incorporate it into everyday living situations. So you can give him a down and a stay while you're eating dinner or watching television to help to develop his self-control. Now this time, instead of returning to his dog, Fred will call him in, have him sit, and then have him return all the way back around to heel position and sit again. And you can see that he's developed quite a bond with Fred. And now they're going to set up for their down from a distance. Still, always have your dog sitting before you attempt to put him into a down. Fred leads him in a stay, Walks out to the end of his training leash. This is the only time that Fred uses his right hand to give the command. And he drops him into a down from 6 feet away. And then he returns all the way back to heel. Always you go back to heel position. Now we've demonstrated for you all of his formal obedience commands. Heel, sit, stay, down, down from a distance, and the come. These are the exercises that you're going to work on with Max, and you're going to incorporate into your everyday life with him. He has come a long, long way. We know you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. We've enjoyed having him, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.